Hey guys, what's up? It's Indigo here. If you are new, never seen my face before, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. First things first, I must say thank you for all of the love that I have been getting on my videos. It is greatly appreciated. Um, I'm seeing that we're kind of growing here. I like this. I love this for me and for us because the more people that there are that hear these messages, the more interaction that we have, and just the more opinions and like new ideas, the more conversation that we can have around like whatever subject it may be that I'm bringing. So thank you for that. For today, kind of just want to talk about the things that have helped me heal, what I've been doing in that vein. Um, just because I think some of these things might help somebody, and I just want to talk about it. So without further ado, here we go. So one of the first things that I did, the white butterfly, that's so cool. Anyway, one of the first things that I did when I left Christianity, and I kind of had started doing this before I left, just a little bit. But I most definitely, I started to very much do all of the things that I was told were bad to do. When I say all the things, I mean just about all of the things. So partying, I did it. Drinking, I did it. Smoking, I did it. Smoking weed. Partying, drinking, smoking, hanging out with my friends, getting tarot readings, watching bad movies like Lucifer or like what witches stuff, hocus pocus, all of these things. I did it. Mind you, I'm glad I watched Lucifer because that show definitely brought up a lot of the points that I have been like analyzing in my head about Christianity for a minute. They brought it up and talked about it, and yeah. So if you haven't watched that show, I definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10, it's great. But anyway, yeah, I dove headfirst into all of the things that I've been told for so long were bad, just because I realized Christianity put me in a box. Like, it very much isolated me from actually living and enjoying life and really experiencing anything. And so at the time, I was like, 21, 22, something like that. So I wanted to really just go out here and I wanted to get this experience. I realized that in order to like really like know anything for sure, you have to go out and to experience it yourself. And it wasn't really that I wanted to do all of these things, just because they told me not to. Well, that was a part of it. But for me, it was getting the knowledge behind, doing these things. It was having that experience and really trying to decide what it was that I want for myself. So if I'm going to decide, if this is something that I want to do in my life, go out and you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoyed that heavily. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed my time just being a little rebel because I got to see and do so many new things that I had never done. I got to just have some great experiences with some okay, like, they were good people, they were good for what they were, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I just got to go out and I feel like I got to enjoy life for like the first time, to like really just like let loose and to be free, to break out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I wasn't in jail anymore, because for me, that was really what Christianity felt like. It felt like jail for life. And I wanted to have fun. I wanted to live my life, I don't have children at that. I didn't have children at the time. I still don't now. I was done with school. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have like the best job at that time, and so I was just like, you know what? We're gonna go out and we're just gonna enjoy And so that's what I did. And in the midst of me doing that, I kind of got into the second part of the second thing I really did, which was distancing myself from a lot of the people that I used to be friends with, because most of them were tied up in the church. And when I say most, I mean 90% of my friends at that time were tied up in Christianity. And if that's a thing that I left, then I can't really. There's one big thing that I kept from church. And that is chastity. That's the biggest thing I kept. Everything else, I threw it away because I didn't need it. I don't know, for me, it just, none of it made sense. And the way the information was presented to me was in such a low vibrational and controlling and manipulative way. I just didn't want that for me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want that moving forward and going forward. So yeah, I think for me it was just a part of really de-indoctrinating myself and trying to escape this religious psychosis, because honestly, when I look back at how I used to think and how I used to carry myself and how insular my life was, it really is a psychosis, and it really does, I won't say take over all your life, but there's almost this feeling of if I do anything outside of what I'm being given here in the church, then I'm going against God. And that is such a crazy way to think, I realize now. But yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Rebelling against everything that I have been taught in church, and then distancing myself from the peoples. The third thing was assessing my morals, which brings us to thing number 4, which is assessing my ideas of myself. Because one big thing that Christianity really, really did, and it did a number on me in this, was taking away my own identity and how I see myself. I was bullied heavily by many people in the church, and it was there were both leaders in the church, parents in the church, and children in the church. I got the absolute worst from the children, but it definitely happened by some of the leaders and the parents as well. And I know it's because I'm different, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been different. Even while I was in church. But when you are, different and you're trying to not be, almost, it does a number on your mind. And I realized that there are so many parts of myself. That I just didn't express. I didn't share with the world. I didn't share with people. There are desires that I had that I never shared with anybody. There are things about how I grew up that I didn't share with anybody. There are thoughts and beliefs, ideas that I had that I just didn't feel that I could express because I would be looked down upon, or I'd be told that it's evil, or that that it's something that I was going to hell, or we need to pray, we need to pray these thoughts out of you, and blah, 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 blah. It's just listen. Now I can say, listen, I don't need that. But at the time, I just really didn't want to go through that. So I had to, I had to reparent myself and in that way and tell me that it was okay to think this way. It's okay to have this idea. It's okay to have this opinion. And this is something that I'm still like actively working on now, because there are a lot of ideas that I may have sometimes now, or some thought will pop into my head and I'll be like, "Ooh, I want to do this, but oh no, that I don't want to be looked down upon." And it's just like, wait, we don't have to like live there anymore. We don't have to be afraid of sharing anymore. We don't have to be ashamed of just being me, and I tell myself this literally all the time. And so that has been like a constant process for me here these last few years, and just trying to really grow into who I am. Because I don't know, for so long I realized I made myself small. I shrunk so that other people would be comfortable. Even now, like some people that I have met here in my very recent past, I would say something, and it's something so, like, to me, it's like a thing that's really minor. Like, oh, I traveled to this place and I did this. Like, oh yeah, I longboard and I know how to sew and blah, 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 blah. And like sometimes people will look at me like that's strange, or like I'm doing too much or something like that. It's like, no, I do a lot. And I find myself wanting to be like, again, not sharing what it is that I do or what I'm into, my desires, my likes, etc., etc. Trying to like shrink myself so that other people don't feel uncomfortable, but I don't have to do that anymore. I didn't have to do that back then, but I for damn sure I'm not gonna do it now. So it's really just learning how to be big and to be loud and to be open, to be okay and comfortable, just being myself. That's something that I am learning and relearning how to do. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's this I would say it has been the hardest thing for me to grasp. But I'm getting there, you know what I'm saying? I'm making it, I'm thriving. And this brings me into my last thing that I'm also still again redoing, is rebuilding my identity and reestablishing myself in this new knowledge that I'm acquiring, being open and being confident and being just free, free to be a person, like free to actually live my life and to just enjoy what it is that I do on a daily basis. Like, this has been so difficult and so fun at the exact same time, because I have learned a lot of new stuff, a lot of new information. I have learned how to do new things. I'm just learning to be me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I hate to say coming out of my shell, because it's really not I guess in a way it's coming out of my shell, but I would say it's a more so, I'm just learning and I am unbearing. I am extracting. I'm not even extracting. I'm digging the dirt off of me. That's really what it is. I'm digging the dirt off of me. I'm learning to come back into myself. I'm learning to be comfortable with me. It's so important for us as people here in the world to be ourselves. Like, I can't tell you how many messages I've seen that are like, thank you for sharing, you're giving me confidence just to be me. etc., etc. And like that, I would say, is like the crux of being a person, that to me is like the biggest thing that you could ever, like, being comfortable and confident in yourself is the biggest blessing that you can ever give yourself and humanity as a whole, because society would have us all be carbon copies of each other. And I know I don't want to be a carbon copy of nobody but myself, So yeah, these have been like my biggest steps. Oh wait, you know what? I take that back. I got one more. This is just like a bonus, but another like really big thing that I did right after I left, and it did aid me in my recovery, was I definitely cut out meat. I had to. And I don't know what it was about eating meat for me before, but I felt like it blocked me off from like an essential part of me. And again, as somebody who is trying to connect back to me, like I didn't want to be cut off anymore. And so like I had to let the meat go. I let the meat go, and it's meat, dairy, all of that. Like I'm a vegan, so but yeah, cutting out all of these animal products helped me to connect to myself in a way that I had never done before. And I know for like the first like 4 or 5 months that I did that, I can't tell you how much I really was able to just, I don't know, it was weird. There was just like the happiest there was a euphoria that I had never felt before. There was a connectedness that I had never experienced. And it it sparked this huge desire in me just to like go outside, be in nature, touch grass, hug a tree. Like I began to see people differently after. I began to see animals differently. I began to see myself, obviously, very differently after I cut meat out of my life. Animal products in general. Just adopting this new lifestyle. Yeah, and I don't know, just again, learning to be free and to be myself, like spending time with myself. If you could give this an overarching thing, that would be it. I spent time with me doing the things that I liked, and that really helped me to just connect back. You know what I'm saying? I'm still growing. Obviously, I'm a person. I feel like once we stop growing, or we've reached our final form, then that's when we're released from these bodies. But yeah. So yeah, these are the things that I've done here these last few years that have really just helped me to reconnect to myself, get back to myself, have aided me in disconnecting from the religious psychosis. Yeah, so it's an ongoing process, because every day I find something new. I won't say every day, but kind of often I do find a new thing that I need to like let go of, or break off of me. But it's a thing that I'm happy to do, and a thing that I look forward to doing every day. So yeah, I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out as I'm trying to grow this channel. would like to, go ahead and subscribe. You know, you don't have to, but you know, you can help out in that way if you want. um, yeah, but yeah, that's just kind of how I found myself here, what I've been doing, and what has helped me thus far. So, if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. Of course, there's a video. Dang, I look wobbly. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in a future video.